We also know that this country is the one that leads with successful succession, which are peaceful. Of course, it experienced a bit of difficulty at some point, but since then, Ghana became the most celebrated democracy. But the democracy of Ghana is threatened by corruption, a corruption that made sure that Ghana does not pay its international debt. As a result, today, Ghana is unable to self-determine because everything else is dictated to Ghana by IMF and the World Bank, because the current leadership failed to honor their obligation. It's a threat to a wonderful democracy anyway, because it's eating on the moral fiber of democratic dispensation. We must never ever celebrate anyone who is corrupt or seek to defend the corrupt individuals, irrespective of our political affiliation. Those who are stealing from the public purse now, they are stealing from the future. That's why they are unable to pay the debt now, and they will not be able to pay the debt in future. And it is you, the youth of Africa, that are going to inherit the debt, and you will not be able to develop your own countries. There is a tendency in the African continent of the youth defending the old corrupt, because they give them the little money now and they forget the future. If you value yourself, if you value the future of this continent, you must stand tall and unashamedly fight corruption everywhere where it raises its ugly head. Don't care who says what. You must always speak truth to power. It doesn't matter who gets offended. The truth remains the truth, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting, whether you are sleeping, the truth will never change. And one thing you must know is that when you tell the truth to the powers that be, they may pretend now that they do not hear what you are saying. But when they are sleeping alone, their conscience speaks to them, and they must answer the question, is he or she telling the truth? And if the answer is yes, you have achieved your mission. They will never know they are corrupt until someone tells them on their faces that you are for yourself, you are for your family, you are for friends, you are for the politically connected, and you are not for our continent, because our continent is about the unity of African people that is based on economic ownership of the means of production. Ghanaians, we must make sure that we refuse the suppression of media freedom, because without media freedom we are nothing. If there is anyone who can tell the world of any wrongdoing in Ghana and in South Africa and everywhere else, is the fourth estate. It must be protected. It doesn't matter how bad they write about you. You must protect their right to write. Because without that pen, you must know there is an ushering in of a dictatorship. If media is suppressed, if media can't write about corruption, if media takes bribes from governments, you must know those are the dark days of the African continent. Today, we've got our own platforms on the social media. Let us help the traditional media to expose the corrupt leadership, to expose the mining companies that milk Africa without leaving anything in Africa. The gold of Ghana must remain in Ghana and service the people of Ghana. The minerals of Ghana, the minerals of South Africa must service Africa. The EFF believes in one Africa where we've got one president. I know Kwame Nkrumah was accused of wanting to be a president of Africa. There was nothing wrong with that. The man qualified because he woke us up from the dead. Wakontunu Kwame Nkrumah's call. Even if we don't achieve it in our lifetime, we must create a solid foundation for one Africa, because one Africa is a threat to Europe and America. Africa with one president, Africa with one currency, Africa with one military command, Africa with one parliament. It's a threat that America cannot stand. Imagine a currency of Africa against the currency of USA. Ours will be based on the natural and mineral resources of our continent. And what will the currency of France be based on? Because France can't even produce anything for its survival. The whole soccer team of France is Africa. That's why when France plays with Britain, we all unwittingly support France because we see the blackness of the team. That's how much important we are as Africa to this Europe, America, and all those who support neocolonialism. Fellow Ghanaians, anyone who says the people of Palestine must be killed is an enemy of ours. The people of Palestine have not committed any sin to anyone. These organizations that got passports here in Ghana during colonial times and during apartheid times, they were called terrorist organizations. But to us, they were never terrorist organizations. They were revolutionary organizations that seek the liberation of our own countries. We cannot listen to the same propaganda that was used against us during the years of liberation. Kwame Nkrumah was called a terrorist. Nelson Mandela is still on the list of terrorists in USA because they fought for the self-determination of Africans. That's exactly what Hamas is demanding. That let the people of Palestine reclaim their own land. Political freedom that Kwame Nkrumah achieved and generations after him achieved is meaningless without economic freedom. You can vote until you are purple. As long as there is no bread on the table, that vote is meaningless. You must vote when you arrive at home. You must find bread, you must find free education, you must find quality public health, you must find reliable electricity, and not what we experienced earlier on. We must make sure that we own everything that belongs to us. So Africans, I don't care how many we are, we must believe in ourselves. At least be an individually liberated African who is not scared of colonizers, who is not scared of white people, who doesn't worship the establishment, who calls a spade a spade. That is the only way Africa will be respected. This continent is one. They might think they divided it. I can guarantee you now, like we saw when Ghana got liberated in South Africa, we said one day it will happen. It came many years after, but eventually it came. The unity of this continent is going to come. And when we call on each other to come into each other's countries, we must embrace that with ease. Me being here in Ghana, I don't feel like I'm in a different country. Because in this world, there is nothing different I'm not used to in South Africa. When I look at left or right, I see my brothers and sisters. When I walk outside and drive all over, I see the poverty of Africa that I see at home. So why would I claim I'm in a different home? Because conditions are the same. So when I'm here, I'm at home. When you are in South Africa, feel at home. South Africans are not xenophobic. South Africans are peace-loving people, and I extend my invitation to all of you to come and study in South Africa, to come and work in South Africa, to come and take your holidays in South Africa, because it is your home too. The same way you welcomed us here, we'll welcome you in South Africa.
Welcome back. Now, Julius Malema sent strong message to the youths of Ghana. First of all, let me say Ghana was the first African country to gain independence, and Ghana, as for now, supposed to be far away. Ghana supposed to be one of the greatest country in Africa, because they are the one who got the first independence. So they were free for a long time. And Malema has talked about us voting in all the people to the power. All the people with the same old games, with the same colonial mind, and which we are looking forward to do away with it as the youth of Africa. When we talk about oneness of Africa, it must start with Ghana. Ghana plays a very big role in African unity. Ghana plays a very big role in the uniting of all black people, and that's why you saw it was the first country in Africa to say that, you know what, black Americans and Afro-Caribbeans, you should come back home, because Ghana is the gateway of Africa for a reason. And I'm gonna add something to what Julius Malema has said to my people, my youth of Ghana. I'm looking forward for you to rise up and stand up for your rights. I'm looking forward for you to rise up and make Ghana great again, because if Ghana is like our parents as Africa, it's like our role models as Africa, because a lot of countries were looking onto Ghana and saying, you know what, if Ghana's got its independence first, we are next, we can do it, you know. So it is like a role model to a lot of African countries, and that's why we need great minds in the leadership of Ghana. Youths, know your history. As Ghanaian youth, know what's best for your country. You are our role model as Africans. So whenever we are talking about oneness of Africa, it must start with Ghana. The same when you go to the next election. He has told us the truth that when you vote, make sure you vote not because of the promises. You are voting and you have something at home to eat. You have bread. You go and vote, and when you go back home, you have bread to eat. Not all these issues that we go to the ballot, you voting, and when you go back home, you are sleeping empty stomach, full of promises and lies that we will do this and we will do that. Now, a lot of people have been calling Nana Akufo as the puppet of the US, and that's true. Nana Akufo and Kenyan President William Ruto are one of the top most puppets of the United States of America. Ghana too is affected by the IMF. Here in Kenya, we are fighting the IMF because we know what IMF caused to us. Like, for example, I am here as the youth of Kenya, trying to pay the debt that was borrowed with my parents. And now, when I don't rise up now, my children, the children of my children, will live to pay that debt from IMF, and nothing will be done to Kenya. There will be no change. Every president will come, spend 5 years, and paying. What we'll be doing is just paying of debts, because this debt maybe we can pay very fast, but the money that is supposed to pay the debts they take, or the debt even they even take, they don't make it to work. They take the debt and they eat it. They chop the money, you know. They chop the money. You go and borrow loan, and then you chop that loan without doing a business you wanted to do it with. And that's what is paining us so much. You know, if you take a loan, and we as the youths of Africa, as the citizens of Africa, we see, okay, you took this loan, and our loan has done this and this, and our loan has created here, the roads are good, education, health system is good. It's okay. we gonna pay, because the taxes you collect from those things you have created with that, you have built, or you have work on it with that loan, the taxes the taxes you collect from there, it pays the loan. But why should you take loan when you as Ghana, you have the resources? Why should you take loan when you as a country, you have enough resources to run your country and even neighboring country? Some African countries here have a lot of resources that they can feed half of Africa for some years. So we have what it takes, but because of the few dollars, we allow our country to enter into some deep hole. Now, all the leaders are going back to the seats because they give the youths small token, small dollars, $1, 1 naira, 1 cedis, 100 cedis. You given 100 cedis and you give away your 5 years for free for 100 cedis. You give away your freedom for 100 cedis. You give away your better education for 100 cedis. You stay hungry for 5 years or 4 years if the period term for 100 cedis. So we as the youths of Africa, Julius Malema has spoke the right words to us, and we have to hear, and we have to rise up, because we are the people. We are the people to change. Even if this change will not work out at our time, definitely one of the times, even if I will not be there or you will not be there, but if we start today, the journey of 1,000 kilometers start with a 1 meter. So start with a 1 step. So if we start today, period, it will come to pass. Africa will come together, because Africa, we are one people. When I see a Tanzanian, he is my black brother. We are same blood, same color. You are my brother. You are not a Tanzanian. We are all Africans. So today I'm here to support what Malema has said, and this is to the youths of Ghana, the youths of Ghana, the Gen Z of Ghana. Whatever you are facing as a country, you can do away with it when we talk about it, when we call them out peacefully. We call the bad politician, we call the corrupt politician, we call them out and tell them, you know what you're doing is bad. What you are doing is bad. And very soon, Africa will be a great place. You know, let me tell you something. These white people, they fear Africans so much, because they know once Africans are united, they are done. Once Africans they have united, we will be great, because we have enough. We have gold, we have oil, we have copper, we have cocoa, we have maize, we have rice, we have cotton, we have everything we need as Africa. So for example, Ghana and South Africa, all of them, they speak one language. Ghana has this, South Africa has gold, Congo has copper and uranium. These countries, we unite, we help each other. Come to think of it, the borders that were kept in our countries were kept just written by a pen, because no one came and built a fence anywhere. It is just written by a pen that, you know what, Kenya will reach here, Uganda will start from here, reach here, Tanzania here, Congo here, Zambia here, Zimbabwe here, Chad here. It was written by a pen. So Africans, we can come together and do away with all these punitive and neo-colonization mind, and all leaders who still has the colonization aspects in their minds. Tell me what you think on the comment section. The speech of Julius Malema towards Ghana. Ghana, I love you so much, Ghana. Rise up as Ghana, the youths of Ghana. It's time. It is time, even if it's not today, but definitely one day it will come to pass. Peace be with you.